On Super Sunday, it's Spurs against Manchester City, Pep against Jose once more. Now, we've got two teams here that perhaps we expected a little bit more of this season. Obviously, let's take Liverpool out of that equation. That's a different debate altogether. What do you think of Tottenham going into this one, Kris?
I don't.
Completely underwhelmed, it looks like.
You don't know what you're going to get from Tottenham. That's the one week they're playing well, the next week they're struggling. But you know, there's one thing about José Mourinho's teams: when he comes up against the big ones, he always, comes up with a formula to try them. I mean, even the Liverpool game is he nearly got something from that. So he always comes up with something to stop them playing, and you're going to have to if you're going to stop City. But they had a terrific result. I know it was under Pochettino, but when they went to the Etihad at the start of the season, 2-2.
But would you look at, we've spoken about potential transfers for Spurs coming off the back of Harry Kane not being fit. Are you wary of a Spurs side up against Manchester City without their main man?
No, and I don't say that in a way of like being derogative towards Harry Kane, but I just think sometimes Spurs play completely different to the way when he plays. I'm a huge fan of Son, and all I'd hope is, like I said, that drop off, and I'd kind of want Mourinho to go to the old counter-attacking ways of just playing it over the top and letting Son run after it, and because I think he would blow every one of the, except maybe for Kyle Walker, I think just put Son over the other side then, and he'd blow mostly everyone away. That easy. And I think then you've got a chance.
I mean, with the way that they both shape up, I mean, Spurs 34 points, Manchester City 51, obviously they're very much trying to chase down Liverpool. Again, you talk about perhaps the mindset of Mourinho going into this, because of how he's now deemed as the Spurs manager against what Guardiola has done recently in English football. That underdog, if that's the right word to use with Spurs, does he buy into that? Does he? I mean, as it runs up to the game, I'm sure he's going to be heaping pressure on his opposite number.
No, I think it's just down to what Kris just said. He just delivers. I think when he comes up against these top teams, and like I said, I watched that game against Liverpool, and they should have got a draw out of that. He just knows how to play against top managers. Whether he frustrates them for them to kind of make that different change. I mean, we know how Pep's going to play. He's just going to go out there, possession base, force it, high press, try to win that ball back earlier. And again, the one thing that City will do, they will give you opportunities to go 1v1 at the back. And that's when the old technical foul kind of comes in. But again, it's when you're playing them top teams, and Spurs are a good team. When you play against great strikers as well, they only need one chance to score. And then again, Mourinho knows how to park a bus as well.
It doesn't. I mean, and these two are obviously familiar foes across their careers so far. And it is fascinating to see the matchup between two quite highly decorated and very moneyed managers. It's fascinating, really, isn't it? Because when we look at how they do match up and how possibly these two managers go into this, yes, they've got different squads. Yes, they're at different teams. But do you think anything in this, Kris? We're talking about two very special managers here that are driven by ambition, by ego, by everything that drives all men of a certain age. Surely they're looking at it going into this, wanting to get that one over, not because it's the club, but because it's that specific opposite number.
Yeah, and Pep will be wishing he still got Lionel Messi as well. For me, Harry's right in terms of the way Pep Guardiola wants to play the game and dominate the ball and create opportunities that way. But it does leave, the back door open, and you can get at them. And I think that's where they've came unstuck this year. With Laporte injured as well, and I don't think they've found that balance. And I know, we're the end of January now as well, and you're still searching for that. Back two. It's what Man City play, or that pair in the centre half area, but. It's fascinating how one with one formula goes up against the other one. They try to break each other down. And you've got Jose who's sitting in trying to hit in the counter attack and that as well. And, as Harry said it as well, with Harry Kane not being there, it maybe does suit Mourinho a little bit as well, because you're not forced to play with that. You can come right off the game. You can sit in, and as you say, with the pace that Son's got over the top, he's difficult to stop. But I think a lot of times as well with Mourinho's teams, they've got a lot of good players as well, and they can play. They can keep the ball, and they can frustrate you that way as well. So it's an intriguing matchup, and I'm sure it'll be one that both managers will be looking, saying, "Oh, we can win this."
I think they'll both. Well, obviously, over the next couple of days, they'll both play it down, saying it's important about the 3 points.
Just another game.
Yeah, well, that kind of thing. But definitely these two have a rivalry.
There's no love lost.
And no, and as much as they would do it, they would both want to win and get that one over each other.
How do you see the game going? What's your prediction?
Again, the great thing about this league is anything can happen. And, you know, we're looking at Spurs and sometimes they're playing brilliant and sometimes they're not. And then you're looking at City where they dominate and then all of a sudden another team will just go up there and score. And
Come on, Harry. It's not contractually binding, it's fine.
I'll go for a City win.
Okay.
I was exactly I think we done the debate before the game at the Etihad, and I said, you know, Tottenham, Man City all day long and everything. But it's the way both their seasons have panned out. You know, you don't know what team's going to turn up.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a Manchester City team that's sitting there with 70-80% possession, but they can't score, and that would suit Tottenham in terms of sitting on and hitting the counter attack. It could go either way.
I suppose it depends on who's his Pep's centre half is.
Absolutely. Still question marks about Aymeric Laporte, whether he's going to be fit for that. You didn't give me a prediction then. Not a specific a draw. A draw. It's sitting on the fence.
No.
Nil. Okay. Tune in. Yeah. Super Sunday, 0-0 between Spurs and Manchester City.